Hey guys, welcome back to my show. Today we'll be doing another themed episode in which I'll be doing a book talk on Lifeboat 12. Before I continue telling you what we'll be doing, today's theme is World War II, and the theme only applies to the book talk, just so you guys know. So let me just tell you guys more about what we're going to be doing today. In today's episode, I'll be doing a book talk on Lifeboat 12 written by Susan Hood. I'll be doing an author talk on Susan Hood, and I'll be telling you guys how to do great world building and create a vivid set. So, what are we waiting for? Let's start. Okay, so Lifeboat 12. It is a page-turning true life adventure and is filled with rich and riveting details and a timeless understanding of these things that matter most. Brilliantly told in verse, readers will love Ken Sparks. It is lyrical, terrifying, and even at times funny, and is a richly detailed account of a little-known event in World War II. This book has won many awards like the 2021 Florida Sunshine State Young Readers Award List, the 2020 Oklahoma Library Association's Children's Sequoia Book Award winner, and many others. In the tradition of The War That Saved My Life and Stella by Starlight, this novel is verse based on true events and tells the story of a boy's harrowing experience on a lifeboat after surviving a torpedo attack during the World War II. With Nazis bombing London every night, it's time for 13-year-old Ken to escape. He suspects that his stepmother is glad to see him go, but his dad says that he is one of the lucky ones. One of the 90 boys and girls to ship out abroad the SS city of Benares to safety in Canada. Life aboard the luxury ship is grand, 9-course meals, new friends, and a life far from the bombs. And his stepmom's glare. And after 5 days at sea, the ship's officers announce that they're out of danger. Well, they're wrong. Late that night, an explosion hurls Ken from his bunk. They have been torpedoed. The Benares is sinking fast. Terrified, Ken scrambles aboard Lifeboat 12 with 5 other boys. Will they get away? Will they survive? Award-winning author Susan Hood brings this little-known World War II story for life in a riveting novel of courage, hope, and compassion. Based on the true events and real people, Lifeboat 12 is about believing in one another, knowing that only by banding together will we have any chance to survive. Now let me just read you an excerpt from this book. Lifeboat 12, summer 1942. The envelope. I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't. I'll be in trouble. If I open the large envelope addressed to my parents but it's stamped on His Majesty's service. It's not every day. A family like mine gets a letter from the king. The clock. Tick, tick, ticks. I glance down the hall to make sure I'm alone. I slide my finger under the flap and peer inside. Dear Sora, madam, I'm directed by the Children's Overseas Reception Scheme. It's nothing. A dull form letter. But wait, someone has written in my name. Your preliminary application has been considered by the board and they've decided that Kenneth J. Sparks is suitable for being sent to Canada. What are you doing? Cries my stepmom, seizing the letter from my hands. That is not addressed to you. Charles, this cheeky son of yours wants a good clout about the ears. That letter's about me, I say. You're sending me away. I glare up at my father who appears in the doorway. My stepmom got a wish to get rid of me. Ken, let me explain, says my dad. This letter could save your life. The reason why. They sit me down. I shrug their hands off my shoulder and stare at the floor. Heart slamming, heart rising. They talk and talk, voices swirling in the air, rising and falling, overlapping, interrupting, weaving a net, a trap, but I'm not going to fall for it. I try to block them out. I concentrate on slowing the storm in my head. They're sending me away. But hang on, what is that about the Germans? The Germans are coming, says Dad. France surrendered this summer, and the Nazis are gunning for England next. Hundreds of thousands of parents applied to have their kids sent away out of harm's way. You're lucky to have been selected, says Mom. I have a sister in Edmonton, Canada. You can live with her. With the father out of work, money is tight. We can rent out your room to help pay for rations. Just think, sailing on a ship, says Dad. Will be an adventure. You'll make your way in the world. Get your head out of those books. My books? My stories of buccaneers and buried gold, cowards, braves, and days of old. I snort. Most parents would be chuffed to have a kid who loved to read. I read them because they take me away far from the way I'm living. My 3-year-old sister toddles over and rests her head on my knees. I run my head over her curls. What about Margaret? Shouldn't she go too? She's too young, says Mum. Only ages 5 through 15 are allowed. At 13, I'll be one of the oldest. No adults, I ask? Parents can go, says my dad, but you'll have escorts, a whole staff of doctors, nurses, teachers, price who are volunteering. Yes, son, you're one of the lucky ones. You live in September. You mustn't tell your friends, says Dad. Okay, so I'll leave you there. It's a great book, and I hope you guys read it. Let me just tell you a little bit more about the author. Okay, so let me just tell you the author talk about her. Okay, so Susan Hood is the award-winning author of many picture books for young readers, including Ada's Violin, Shaking Things Up, 14 Young Women Who Changed the World, and many more. She's a recipient of the E.B. White Honor Award, the Christopher Award, the Americas Award, the International Latino Award, and the Bank Street Florist Strauss Award. Before launching a full-time writing career, Susan worked as an editor and freelance writer for kids, parents, and teachers. She spent many happy years teaching and teaching. She spent some years at Children's Content Director Nick Jr. magazines, working with the superstars of Kidlit, Eric Carle, Andrea Davis, Pinkney, John Skeisha, Morris Sendak, Melissa Sweet, Rosemary Wells, and more to create original stories for the magazine. Before that, Susan was a children's book editor at Sesame Workshop and a children's magazine editor at Scholastic, an instructor magazine for early childhood educators. She lives with her family and 2-year-old pup in Connecticut and enjoys spending her summers on the water, swimming, kayaking, and sailing with her husband along the New England coast. To learn more about her, visit Susan at susanhoodbooks.com. Okay, so let's talk more about world building and how to create a believable world for your fiction characters. So what do you mean by the term world building? Well, it means like the area your book is in, the setting. So basically what happens is, I guess I can give you an example so you can better understand it. For example, in J.K. Rowling, they build the world into a wizarding fantasy world where there are pixies, wizards, witches, trolls, ogres, dwarves. That's how they build the world into a fantasy. Well, why do you need to build a world? Well, we have to create a character, but your character needs a place to live, work, and play too. Every one of your favorite books, movies, and TV shows involves building a world, even if it looks like a lot like your own. Would the story of two young people from very different backgrounds have been as gripping if it had been set aboard the Titanic? Part of what makes a story work so well is the world where it takes place. We all know the different types of conclusions to Rose and Jack's story, and this helped us connect with the tale and its characters. In many ways, the world will build your tale and will make the character make itself feel real. It'll have its own look, feel, sound, and smell. It's a favorite coffee house where your protagonist gets his coffee and morning gossip. It's a mall where your hero buys her clothes. It's a planet where the rare mineral is harvested. It's a place you create or let your characters do what they are in the story to do. How does world building improve my story? Well, through world building, your book or a story or whatever you're writing will be amazing. I repeat, amazing. Because the more intricately and intimately you know your story's world, the richer your writing will be. For example, the coffee shop where a protagonist stops each morning becomes more interesting when the reader picks up the details of the decor or the fact that the barista is a former mafia hitman. Just because you don't tell your reader that the dark roast coffee beans are kept on the second shelf down doesn't mean you shouldn't know it. Taking this level of care with your world building will carry into your writing and make your story more believable. The secrets to building world building consider all aspects. Number 1. Read about other authors' worlds. Watch and analyze movies. Mix and match different worlds. Draw a map of your story's world. Think about the history of the world. What kind of people live here? Are they like you and me? What makes them different? Consider what kinds of flora and fauna live in your world. Tame animals, wild and explored forests, or other landscapes. Outline your world's background. What kind of technology does your world have? What is the government like, or is there one? What's the culture like? Do its inhabitants have fads and styles? Consider like mix and matching different words. Like I said before, take two ideas from different places, put them together, and add your own twist to create a whole new world. This is especially helpful if you don't know how to get started. Remember that world building isn't the whole story. It's easy to lose yourself when creating a world and want to tell the readers everything about it. Unfortunately, as fascinating as you find a world, the reader will quickly get to the point where they don't care. They want the story. Your world is not the central character of the story. While it makes center stage at times, ask yourself whether each highlight helps move the story along. If not, then remove it. Ask yourself, does it develop the characters in some way? Or is something you want to add because you work so hard to develop it? If it's the latter, leave it out. You don't need to add every single detail. Okay, so I hope you understood something new today, and yeah. So I hope you had fun today, and if you have any recommendations on what episode you want me to talk about next, or like what topics are you want me to talk about next, writing related, book related, or whatever, you can give me some. If you want to have like a specific book which you want me to talk about, or you want me to talk about a specific topic in writing, like how do you do character analysis or something like that, you may voice message me from my profile and I'll get back to you. Also, if you're doing that, please leave back your email in your voice message. Please leave back your email or some place I can contact you so I can tell you whether it can happen or no. Okay, so guys, I hope you had a fun time, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye guys, and I'm out.